Oh, Canada. Okay, we got that out of the way right off the bat. As I recently went to Vancouver, British Columbia a few weeks ago, I figured I'd celebrate Canada Day for a change of pace. And what better way to do that than by showcasing a custom of Canada's famous excursion star, Canadian Pacific Hudson 2816. 2816 is an engine that needs no introduction to the rail fanning community. She's the only non-streamlined Canadian Pacific Hudson in preservation, and the only Hudson in operation today. It's been a year since her big trip from Calgary to Mexico City and back, and since I was going to Canada, I wanted to make her in a Plarail / Trackmaster format before the trip. So, let's go through how I made this engine. I bought a Trackmaster Connor off of eBay and started work taking it apart. I cut off the rear vestibule and the buffers, and then cut off some of the top after tracing the tender, trying to get it smooth and clean as possible. After removing the stickers, I super glued a 3-layer piece of paper onto the cut area. I painted the wheels and most of the tender in Tamiya flat black, followed by a dark gray for the oil bunker. Once that dried, I painted the maroon livery in the center. Not exactly the right shade, but it comes close enough. Last was the pinstriping and lettering. I also painted the ladder and water tank cap on, though the ladder would be replaced with a piece from a red truck. And that's basically it for the tender. Now let's get to the engine. I started out with painting the wheels black, followed by painting the cylinders in neutral gray. Bringing out the saw again, I cut parts of the firebox off to make it closer to the real thing. Then I went to town cutting off all of the skyline casing, leaving just the stack, and cut the front to make it vertical with no angle. I left the cavity alone till I figured out a way how to tackle it. I then made the paper front for the smoke box, removed the details with a ballpoint drill bit, and using the truck again, cut out the front running board and pilot. With all the cutting done, I started work on making paper parts for the other details. First was the steps to the all-weather cab. Then I used a 3-layer piece to cover up the battery compartment, and used air-dried clay to cover the rear, making sure to leave the switch room to turn on and off. This method worked a whole lot better than using all clay for my 1225 custom. Don't worry, you'll see more of this other custom soon. With the hard part done, air-dried clay and the stick from a Q-tip were used to make all of the details. Feed water heater, domes, smoke box door, the whole shebang. The sides were accomplished using the same paper method and supergluing them onto the running board. For 2816's whistles, I used small scraps from the truck. At this point, she was really shaping up, and this thing still runs like a charm. Time for paint. Just like the tender, I start off using black paint followed by dark and neutral gray for the smoke box and boiler. Then I painted the headlight, safety valves, and bell in yellow-orange. The handrails were painted on using the white paint. Going back to the maroon, I painted the sides and cab followed by the yellow for the logo, pinstriping, and number. The last parts to be added on were the compressors and the number board. I quickly superglued and painted those details, again using parts from the truck. After all of that, the Empress was complete. I originally had her with all black wheels as I prefer them over white walls and to make my model a bit more unique, but eventually I decided to paint the white walls on just for the sake of being accurate. With all that done, I took my 2816 custom for the trip to Vancouver in addition to Seattle. It was such a good feeling taking pics of the model in its home territory. I even managed to have her with 374, the engine that pulled the first transcontinental service in Canada. Unfortunately, there was some cosmetic damage and the rear whistle broke off in the bag. Thankfully, they were easy to fix and repair. During that time, I did consider putting the Plarail Gordon side rods onto her, but didn't, as they were much thinner than the normal side rods. And that's how I made my 2816. I've been doing Plarail Trackmaster customs for about a year, but this is definitely one of my top favorite models in my current collection. The fact everything came together so well is so satisfying. This video will also serve as a sneak peek for what I have planned for the 4th of July. If you guys want to see more videos of my engines individually, let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching, and have a happy Canada Day!